Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending where you are around the world. Hopefully everyone has had a happy hump day for Wednesday. It is going to be an interesting topic today, as I do want to bring up something from Western Digital. It was actually brought up by somebody, and I actually found this quite interesting. Wait till you guys take a look at this, as this kind of is going to be related to what's been happening with the PC hardware industry. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And welcome everybody. This is Chris Mizo. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, what's up, Deravax? Good to see you. Hopefully you got that PC build that you want all figured out. Jim, what's up? Glad to see you. Glad to see everybody as always. Western Digital, they had a very interesting press release, I gotta say, when it comes to, it's more investment purposes for everyone who is into stocks. If you guys haven't heard, they've been trying to really show about their side of things, where their focus is when it comes to their customer relations, which I am excited to show in a bit. Hopefully you guys just got to check out the new Intel Nova Lake video. How does everybody feel about that? A 52 core monster that can be coming out sometime soon. And it's going to be a bit much for a lot of people out there, especially if you don't plan on using all 52 cores, but then you do have some hybrid users out there who might be interested in it as for gaming and for, say, work-related purposes, or even if you are into like content creation or even doing some sort of rendering, that would be a great option for anybody out there as well. So I love yeah, if you could do it, if you manage to do it. And what I'm really curious about is if it's actually going to perform really well, similar to an X3D, but of course without having to worry about parking cores. Will it be able to figure it out that side? If Intel does that, that will actually bring up some serious competition up against AMD, because that's the biggest issue when it comes to utilization, when it comes to using multi-cores. So you know what? I'll try to contact. What I would personally do is try to reach out to Intel to try to get it in. So let me show you guys this, because you guys will certainly find this interesting. So this is Western Digital's slides right here, and with Western Digital, they wanted to show what they wanted to show for the investors of what they plan to do. Now, of course, Western Digital, as you know, they switched their name to SanDisk Optimum over to the new PCI Express 5 SSDs that they do plan on coming out with. They're kind of going away from the name of Western Digital and going straight to SanDisk. But this is pretty much their concept, their idea of where their focus is mainly going. So as you can see on this specific slide, AI cloud data storage opportunity is accelerating, and AI cloud storage is going to market and project growth up to 25% or more through 2030. So that's not a good sign, because that shows that there's going to be a lot more focus when it comes to the whole AI sector. And it gets more interesting because as we get further down here, that 80% of storage within the cloud will be based on hard drives. And wait till you see this. Once we go down to about, I think it is slide, let me close that out real quick. Right here. Okay, so reinventing the hard drives for customers and putting it into customers' hands. So there's talking about customers, but of course it's not really focused more on the consumer side. This is more of the enterprise side that they're looking at, and how they're planning to produce these drives specifically, as you notice, in the AI sector. And it just looks like a straight enterprise presentation, that they're not really putting a lot of focus onto the whole SSD and to the standard hard drive factor. So usually that's not a pretty good sign here. They're planning on trying to push more drives and more workloads over to the AI side of things. Now, we're going to go over to Micro Center to check onto the pricing in a bit. We can come back to this. I know this isn't very exciting for a lot of people out there, but this is just showing the capabilities of what Western Digital is planning to head over to. So, have you heard that investors are pulling out of OpenAI during spending? Yes, I have. There's quite a few investors out there that's been demanding to actually get their capital back. Places like from OpenAI, they're expected to end up like going bankrupt within this year or even into early next year. So that could be a bit problematic unless they get swallowed up by another another AI entity. So it could be from Google, it could be from Microsoft. It even seems Microsoft has kind of pulled back from OpenAI because originally they wanted to invest a little bit more into them as well. And because they're seeing that it's not really truly being 100% profitable, then now it's causing investors to question whether if it's going to be worth spending the extra money towards AI. And what is really crazy about the spending when it comes to investments into AI, it's one of the most that they've ever spent. And you're talking billions and billions of dollars that they spent, but they're not seeing any real returns. So again, you can see like with Western Digital's ideas here, they reinvented hard drive for AI, seamless growth up to 100 terabytes, and plus double the bandwidth, power optimization. So again, that is where their focus is. It's going to be focusing on pretty much the whole AI sector. So let's go ahead and take a look at Micro Center to see how it's looking, especially for anyone that is interested in building a PC. And I can certainly show how it's looking for the PC sector for anyone that wants to say build a decent PC. Now, if you're starting from scratch, what's up, Fun Angelo? If you're building up from scratch, I can certainly say the best way to start off with is take a look at these PC build kits. They make it much more cheaper to start doing a PC build instead of manually selecting your hard drive, or I mean not your hard drive, but your motherboard, your RAM, and also your CPU. It'll make it cheaper in a sense to where at least one item is free compared to purchasing each separate one. So we're going to go take a look, for example, at AMD's bundles here, and we can see what is available. So the best bundle that they have for anyone that is on a tighter budget is if you're looking for, say, a 7500X 3D and a cheaper motherboard, which is the MSI B850. It also comes with some RAM, which is the G-Skill Flare X5, 16 gigabytes of DDR5. So they're spending it all on expanding when they barely have any customers. Yeah, and that is the large issue when it comes to it, is because everyone just takes advantage of the free version. Anybody that uses AI, most of them will end up using the free version anyway. So people don't really care about trying to take advantage of like the pro use. A lot of people don't really find any use. They keep using it in that sense. Now I think the way OpenAI does it is if you use their ChatGPT, the free version, you can only use so much. And they even came out with different plans. Say if you are only a phone user, if you strictly use ChatGPT only on your phone and not on your PC, they even have a phone plan, which it's like, I think it's like $5.99 a month or something like that, just to try to attract people to purchase plans. That's how rough it is right now with OpenAI in trying to turn a profit. But for anyone that is looking for a PC build kit, this is certainly the way to go, especially because you can technically get like a motherboard, a CPU, and some RAM for $400, which is definitely hard to beat. So Bob Barkerson says, I think local run AI will catch on for those interested in it. I'm ready to build my AI powered home assistant. There is quite a few interests for those who are interested in doing something like home integrated AI, which is a lot easier. It's a local AI server that you have at home. You don't have to worry about privacy leaks. Of course, it's a lot more secure than having it somewhere stored like OpenAI. Now, what's interesting about it is that Intel is coming out with their 52 core beast, and they're going to be heavily focused on having MPUs. And as you saw, it's going to be quite over, I think it's 72 TOPS, which would be great for anyone that does want to use it for that type of usage. And of course, you can always build much larger models if you get decent GPUs and you choose to stack them that way. But again, you're going to have a crowd of people that's not going to be interested in it. I bet it can't go faster. Yeah, I don't think it's going to pass 5 gigahertz for sure. It's not meant to be. It's a really interesting CPU, I gotta say, because not only does it have 52 cores, but there's not going to be any hyper-threading or any SMTs in it, because it's just 52 cores and pretty much 52 threads. But that's all you really need, and this is going to be beneficial for anybody that's going to be using it for, say, like whether even if you're gaming, because you don't technically use the hyper-threading side. Hey V, what's going on? Good to see you. King Claus, what up? The 5090 Lightning is a beast, absolutely. And it is one of the hardest GPUs to certainly get your hands on. It would be nice to type in an MSI Lightning, but the chances are going to be slim to none to find one. Let's just take a look and see if we can find one. And yeah, it's not going to be very easy to. You're going to have to search the internet for it. I'm even curious if Newegg has it. Let's go ahead and take a look on Newegg and see if we can if it pops up at all. My Fave Tech, what's up? Good to see you. Yes, it is specifically in Taiwan. It was lottery only. I'm not sure how they're going to do it in the US or any other regions, but I know for sure in Taiwan it's lottery only, and you have to be able to. And there's lines for it. There's people just putting their name, like it's almost like a raffle. They put their name into the list and hope they get selected to be able to get picked for it. So, bro, Romania cheapest 32 gigabyte DDR5 dual channel is $450. Insane. And I, you know what? But I can believe it because it's only seems to only get worse. The sad thing is that from what I'm hearing, and hopefully it's not true, is that with DDR5, the price can go up as high as 20 to 30% soon. And let's hope that doesn't happen, because then all hardware will go up. Yes, the 5090s. Ernesto, what's going on? Good to see you. So we're taking a look at some of the PC hardware. It is Wednesday, so this is the middle of the week, and this would be a good indication to see how the RAM looks in the current supply. Yes, in Taiwan. In Germany, Store Mine Factory has. Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's crazy. Is there? Do you know if there's people actually waiting out for it? I bet there is. There's going to be people wanting to get it. So the RAM side, right? We're gonna look at DDR5 RAM, and we took a look at it yesterday. It seems like it's been strictly holding at $1,109.99 for some 64 gigabytes of some Corsair CL30. Now, as you guys know, it's been very volatile when it comes to the pricing of Corsair's RAM, but it's a large difference when you take a look at the Trident Royal Neos, because this specific kit is 32 gigabytes CL28 and it's $520. There's only 3 left in stock, so it seems people are actually purchasing it. So I feel bad for the guy who traded. Absolutely, it was a terrible deal on his end. I can't believe that he actually went through with something like that. It's not just DDR memory, but also hard drives are going up, CPUs and GPUs. Yes, which I will show in a bit. It's actually quite ridiculous, like how bad the pricing for the SSDs has went up. So Deverox says here in Brazil the 5090s are easy to find, but they cost about $4,000 to $5,000 already. That is absolutely insane. Kilobyte, good to see you. And I'm going to check over our I'm going to check this out real quick just to make sure we're connected here. Let's see. Stop that and reconnect. And make sure that we have all our services connected, as it seems like our chat is just catching up. So but yeah, let's take a look at the SSDs just to give you an idea. He's absolutely right. The drives and storage are quite ridiculous. GPUs are absolutely way up there in pricing as well. I wanted to see how much the petabyte. Yes, I think we would all love it.
Kilo_byte 808 just subscribed.
Awesome. Thank you for subscribing, Kilobyte. Certainly appreciate it. So, and this is exactly what Carlito Gomez means here. So take a look at this. It's not that much far of a difference. We took a peek at this, which is a Samsung 990 Pro, 2 terabyte at $399. This is the average price for a SSD. This is PCI Express 4, guys. And now if you take a look at it right directly next to it, you're going to see the Samsung 9100 Pro 2 terabyte just for $20 more. So 5090 Ti, it's possible. They're actually in discussions of actually upping the 5090 Ti, which makes absolutely no sense. I get it in the whole AI side of things. Maybe that's why they want to do it. They want to kind of create a mid-tier between 32 gigabytes and say, and compared to their 96 gigabyte monster. So it could absolutely be possible.
Lecro subscribe to the channel.
Thank you, Lecro, for subscribing. So $530 here for a 990 Pro 2 terabytes. That is just wrong. That should actually be illegal. There should actually be laws in place for this because it's just ridiculous. Even Inland, if you guys are not familiar with Inland, that's Micro Center's brand for their NVMEs. Even Inland's is pretty expensive. You take a look at Inland's QN450 2 terabyte Gen 4, that's $290, and that's supposed to be more of the budget option. So I was baited by Newegg. I bought the ASUS X870EH Miku Edition motherboard, and they offered 16 gigabytes of. Hey, that's a hard deal. I always got to thank Kilobyte, of course. Ernesto, also known as Ernesto. I don't mind sharing the info. And I know, thank you guys for always being part of this wonderful community. And also for anybody that is just joining in, we also do have a Discord page. You can definitely check it out if you want to show off your PC builds or even have any questions about your PCs. So feel free to join Discord, and I might be working on a TeamSpeak server, but it seems that Discord has kind of pulled back the whole idea about doing that whole retinal face scan and also taking a picture of your ID. So it seems like they are pulling back away from that because, of course, of all the negative feedback that they received from that. So Project Wood, it's interesting. I have some great ideas coming up, and with Project Wood, that is something that it will be under discussion. So Carlito Gomez says raw materials are also going up for the most part. Absolutely. And that's a big part of it. There's actually a site I like to personally check out which I will show you guys. I go here, it's called Trading Economics. And if you go here and you go to the commodity side, you can actually see the pricing, the average pricing when it comes to for the type of metals that are used in things like hardware. So you can see like gold's at 49.76, again, extremely high. Silver's holding steadily around that 77 range, and copper's also up at 5.78. So again, they all are currently going up in pricing. So this obviously doesn't help. This is also going to be one of the reasons why power supplies are also going to go up in pricing sometime soon. So if I do my Prime 95 with my 7800 X3D, I only get 56 Celsius with an AIO. How much lower do you think the temps will be with the custom loop? It's going to be amazingly low. If you're only getting 56 Celsius, I would try it a bit heavier onto something like not Prime 95, but I would say go into something like Cinebench to see what kind of numbers that you're pulling to, because Cinebench is a good measurement. Bob Barkison says yes. Apparently, yes. That was one of the big issues. Apparently, Discord said that they might pull back away from it, and it seems heavily to that side because of so much negative feedback that they were getting from a lot of Discord users. See, the problem is, it's not that people don't want to verify, it's that your information can leak, and Discord's kind of not the perfect place to put your personal information like your ID or your own face recognition scan. Otherwise, it can leak out to the public, which is something that nobody wants to happen here, especially when it comes to identity theft. So Jim says, my G-Skills Trident Z5 Neo RGB DDR5, I paid in 32 gig, but that's actually decent. Norway, I paid $167. What's up, NYC? Good to see you. Deravac says, managed to mix two 8 gigabytes and two 16 gigabytes for as Corsair LPX 3200 G Skill Royal 3600 here. Really? So you probably manually set your profile and was able to run comfortably. And my question is, how is it with the latency? Was the latency the same? After about 6 cycles of memtest was 0. Wow. Yeah, let me know how it goes. I'm really curious, because that, to me personally, it sounds like it's going to be unstable after a while, but if you manage to do it, that's pretty impressive. Of course, you can always set manual timings too. Now, if anyone's curious about the whole GPU side, how the pricing is going to be, obviously it's going to also take a hit. Now, if anyone's trying to get a 5090, they're going to be priced extremely high. At average price for a 5090 is going to be $3,500 or more. So it's no longer can you find a 5090 for around, say, about like $2,800. Now the average price is going to be about $3,500. Yeah, no problem, NYC. I'm glad you're enjoying this. The pain of pricing, right? Thermal Grizzly bring coming soon. A weather block. I am looking forward to Thermal Grizzly's tech. I am really curious about their 12-volt high power port sensor that they got, where you can actually plug it in. Z-Man, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome in. So we're gonna take a look at Thermal Grizzly real quick, and I'll show you what I mean here. It's actually a sensor where you can monitor your voltage. So instead of actually reading it directly through the PC, you get the immediate reading right here onto the side of your GPU. You can just actually look at it and see how the voltages are going. And if there is an issue, you can actually set different modes on it to where you can actually have it like notify you if it is running into problems, or you can easily have like almost like an emergency shut off. So I gave up on the 5090 and bought the Blackwell. Did you really? Every time the 5090 goes up in my price, my purchase is more justified. And yeah, it's insane that RTX 6000, that's definitely no slouch when it comes to its workloads. And especially because of your use, you're 100% going to have quite a local machine, I gotta say. And I'm curious here. I'm going to put out a poll since I'm seeing more and more users actually asking about this. And I'm curious if more people are starting to actually get a bit more interested in it, which is going to be based on local AI servers or having your own local AI. So I'm going to ask the question, are you interested in local AI? So I'm going to put out the poll there. You can feel free to vote. You just put 1 for yes or 2 for no, and that will move the poll. So is it worth getting a 5080 when it's still on DDR4s? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm running a 5080 right now on a DDR4 system, but it is on a Threadripper platform. So far, we got a mix. We got 1, we got yes, and we got no. No. And feel free to, you can voice your opinion. Let me know why you are interested or not interested in having your own local AI. Wow, a lot. Now I'm seeing more news. What's up, Igor? I'm doing great. How's everything with you? I'm seeing a lot of no now. Ooh, oof. It's like at 16.7% for yes. Oh, really? Oh, so yeah, you're in for a treat. It's still a great GPU. Even though you won't have the full advantage of the PCI Express 5 slot, which honestly doesn't matter depending on your use. Since I use this mostly a lot for like more of my content creation and for my streaming and more of my editing or like things like DaVinci for color grading. But overall, it's just been great. It's been 100% a improvement over a 3080 Ti that I had originally in this system. Oh, we got a 1 there. Oh, okay. So now it's fighting at a 25.6. This is interesting, I gotta say. Only because I don't understand the LLM stuff. Oh, okay. Interesting. So that's your main concern because you don't understand it just quite yet. Of course, there's always time to learn it. First time I've seen like 125090s in stock at my... Oh, really? Oh, wow. And were they all Gigabyte, just out of curiosity? Because it seems like a lot of stores have the Gigabyte RTX 5090s, like just drop in. So I'm a bit of a weeb. So the idea of 2D, that's pretty funny. Wow. So okay. So now we're getting a lot more. We're getting some no. So nice. I had a 30. Yeah. So it's going to be quite the upgrade over it. In fact, I went with the ASUS Noctua RTX 5080 just to see the how different it would be, and man, it's just like night and day. And on top of it, just being, of course, it's larger, but it's just much more of an improvement compared to 3080 when it does its task. So it's a shame that the 5080 only has 16 gigabytes. Yes, I do agree. What I am interested in is once NVIDIA starts producing, I don't think they're going with supers. More than likely, they're going to jump straight into the 6000 series, and we won't see that till 2027. Now, for all you console people out there that are interested in consoles, just to forewarn you guys, don't get your hopes up until about 2029, because apparently that's the rumor that they're going to push these consoles, these next-gen consoles, to about 28 to 2029. So it's a shame that the 5080 only has 16. I think once they come out with the 6080, it's gonna definitely have at least 24 gigabytes. It has to. It just makes no sense for them not to do it that way. So 3080 to 50, that is a massive step. Some people won't want that step. It's a very expensive step. So I got the Noctua for silent running. Had to take a Milli tool to my case, but oh, that's awesome. I bet your PC looks great. Yeah, also, feel free to show it off. Put it up on Discord. I'll be happy to show it to everybody here. So, more mortals can't... Yes, more people can't afford the RTX 5080. Thank God it'll only be 2029, but... Yes, so 2029 is the big rumor about next-gen consoles coming out. And on top of that rumor, for who's out there that's been waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. Now now I gotta put that poll out because I'm curious if there are people that are waiting for Elder Scrolls 6. Elder Scroll 6. Are you waiting for? I'm gonna throw that poll out. And let me know. Oop. Just a second. I messed that one up. I ended up picking up something else. Let's see. We'll reset that. And I'm just trying to fix this poll here. For some reason it went to okay, there we go. So, are you waiting for Elder Scrolls 6? Okay, so I'm going to throw that poll up there, guys. Did that freeze? It looks like my poll isn't working anymore. I think it's because it went up. I would have to exit and go back in. Oh, you know what? Yeah, the poll's not working, guys. For some reason, the poll froze. Let me try switching screens and then going back in it. I think the poll ended up freezing. Let me exit out of here. And I'll go back in. Wow, it actually hard froze. I've never seen that. I've never actually seen that happen on here. Oh, there we go. Maybe I'll reset now. Oh, well. I guess there we go. There we go. I think I got it, guys. Waiting for Elder Scroll 6. There we go. All right, there we go. Now it's working. So, are you waiting for Elder Scrolls 6? You can feel free to answer the poll. And I'll show off my PC after upgrade to... Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely got to. I love to see the Miku. So, Forza Horizon 6 looks sick. Absolutely. I can't wait to play it. As much as Resident Evil, Fable franchise, horror is not my jam, unfortunately. Oh, man. I just love the games. I just love the series. It's been awesome. I'm just curious how much of a difference it's going to feel. It's coming out next week. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there waiting for it. The good thing is if you do purchase a RTX card, RTX 50 series card, anything that's over a 5070, it does actually come with Resident Evil. So it will come with the game if you're in need of a GPU. So Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind Remake would be so much better. It's a shame because Oblivion, it was quite interesting that they re-released it with the Unreal Engine 5. It pretty much played the same, but just better graphics. I forgot the name. Oh, Intel's Playground. That's going to... Yeah, they're doing that a bit more with the whole creativity side. So why not have that? Yeah, can you imagine if they did come out with like an ASUS Noctua edition where it's a RTX 5090? How massive it is. Because alone, the 5080, as you guys saw, is one of the largest cards that is currently out there. It's just as large as the ASUS RTX 5090 Matrix, which is pretty insane. So, have you seen the Deuce EX? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I actually have that in my library as part of my collection in my games. It would be nice though. I am getting a 5080 GPU. It's good enough for new games. Oh yeah, absolutely. 5080 would be a decent choice to go. Now, if anyone's a bit more worried about their budget, Micro Center does have something I do want to show you guys. So far, nobody's really looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6. Believe it or not, that is actually one of those games where it's taken longer than GTA 6. I think Elder Scrolls 6 will actually see after GTA 6, which sounds pretty insane. No, I never said 5080 is a budget. It's great but pricey. No, what I've said is if you're looking for a budget, is something like this. Something like this. This is where I'm pulling you to. Is a Radeon RX 9070. It's a great card for anyone that is trying to spend decent performance but less money. You're looking for a very fair price to performance card. This would certainly be the way to go. Now, how much weaker is the 5080 compared to the 4090? Now, if you compare those two, it's going to be quite a bit weaker. It's almost equivalent to like how the 4080 is. Now, the 4090 is a great card too. I think that's actually the perfect gamer card as of today. For anyone that's into like 4K and you can manage to get a 4090 to say, a lot of people would certainly be happy with it. It's a great card. It really is. And in fact, it's so great that the pricing of a 4090 is exactly the same cost as when you first bought a 4090, which is at $1,500. In fact, Micro Center, if we take a look, I think Micro Center doesn't have it, but they have a chart to where you can see where your card is valued at. And for the RTX 4090, it's still valued at that stunning like $1,300 to $1,500. But it's a great card. But if you are going with a 5080, it's also a awesome card. It just all depends on the type of resolution that you choose to game in. If you're looking for higher resolution, 4090 would be a great choice to go actually. But if you're looking for a decent resolution with you don't mind as much as going max quality, just say, then a 5080 would be great. And that's why I had to bring up the Radeon RX 9070 because this is a great alternative for anyone that doesn't want to spend that premium money. So Radeon has cheaper GPUs but less performance. I have a 4090 but plan on that. That's like that's one card I kind of wish I wish I kept it. Definitely one of those underrated cards of its time was a 4090. Of course we gave a lot of shit to our D40 series. We all have to admit it. We 100% did because of the pricing. Really, it was because the RTX 4080 pricing kind of threw everything off. If you guys remember, that RTX 4080 was at $1,200 when it first released. I think it was actually higher. Was it? I think even $1,300. So it was around that range. It was ridiculous. And nobody actually bought it. And that's what caused the pricing of the RTX 4080 to go down because it just didn't make sense. If you were to get a 4080, you might as well have gone to go get a 4090, and that's what most people did. Well, a 7600 and a 9070 XT work for a 1440 40p 4K high settings. I can, but this all is pending on what type of games that you're playing. That is going to be subjective. If it's Fortnite, yes, I could see that you can do it. Now, if it's a game like, say, Monster Hunter Wilds, then it's going to be a bit more tough, especially if you're trying to turn on things like ray tracing. Then it's going to make it difficult. Even for a 5080, it would be even a bit more difficult if you start turning on different settings, such as full-on path tracing, and plus there's different settings on there that can certainly affect the playability of the game. So Bob Barker says, have you ever tried lossless scaling with a second? No, I have not. So Josh says, oh, you reminded me there's news about a guy in the UK who murdered his... yes. Wasn't that crazy? Wasn't that some crazy news there? Like, that's how he confessed to the murder. That they wrote that into the they actually wrote that into the confession about what he said. He just said, he's like, oh, I'm never gonna get to play GTA 6. And so he's writing that, the cop is writing that into his confession, which was kind of odd. That's the first thing he worries about after murdering somebody. So I'm about to bite the bullet on some RAM. Going to get a 48 gigabyte kit T-Crate, awesome kit, versus a 32 gigabyte 6000 CL30 compact PC for editing and travel. I would say definitely look for, if you're getting a 48 gigabyte kit, that would be the way to go because you're going to want a bit more temporary storage, so to say, when it comes to your whole video editing. That makes quite the difference. So I would definitely say 48 gigabyte would be the way to go. So when do you think a PC would be able to handle Crisis on max settings? I think a lot of PCs can. The real question is, can a PC handle Borderlands 4, or can it handle games such as I would say like Borderlands 4 is quite the benchmark now, and even currently it's been like Cyberpunk if you run it into psycho mode, because in psycho mode you'll be running it on full out pad tracing. Black Myth Wukong is a great measurement of tool that you can use during gaming. So Deravac says, was a killer for its pricing, 4090, 13,000 Rias against 30,000. Wow. It's quite the difference. It just doesn't make sense, right? Like, I really thought that the 5090, it was going to be like around that $1,500, $2,000 mark, but after the vendors kind of took over and made their custom fans and shrouds for it, it's always going to have some extra tax on there because of the improved cooling for it. So the first 4080 non-super 12 gigabyte is a scam, and 1200. Yes, and that was the big issue. So Chris, may I drop a link in the chat? Yes, you can feel free to drop a link. YouTube's kind of restrictive though, just to let you know. If you can't send it through Discord, and I can copy it and send it through there, because I try to enable URLs through the chat, but it's so picky when it comes to YouTube. Or you can feel free to send it over on Twitch. That's also a great option for you guys. So apparently a lot of Walmarts have clearance sales, and no way, really. That would definitely make me go do a Walmart hunt just to get a 50 series if we can get one for a great deal. So ray tracing is kind of cool, but it depends on the title. Yes, it just depends on the type of game it is. Now, here's a great deal. If anyone's doesn't want to build a PC, you can actually get a Alienware PC. It's a 285K, and it comes with a 5080 with 16 gigabytes of RAM. 16 gigabytes of G7, and then it comes with 32 gigabytes of RAM for $2,200. That's actually a decent deal for those who don't want to do a custom build and just wants a PC ready to go. That's actually not bad, to be honest. So it looks like nobody's waiting on Elder Scrolls 6. A lot of hate for that game right now. So I'll shut that poll off, and I'll think of the next other poll. So this is actually not a bad deal. And just to show you this PC, it has a 5080 and it has a 285K. It also does have up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. But again, the RAM's not the greatest. The set is a 5200 megahertz kit, so it's not very quick. So yes, it is absolutely cheap for Alienware, which is odd to hear, because you're used to, once you hear Alienware, you assume it's going to be a very pricey pre-built PC. So Dhruv of Joshi, he says, hello, per market's current scenario, is it currently okay to build a 12? Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that build. Are you going with DDR4? Because they do have the two different boards that you can choose when it comes to the Intel platform. Bulgarian, thank you for following. So I'm assuming that's Igor over there. And feel free to post the link. So it's absolutely a solid build for anyone. Yeah, I thought that was you. I had to take a guess. I figured that was you over there. It is okay to build. Definitely a safe way to go. So we're gonna go over to take a look at what other deals that there are. Unfortunately, when it comes to graphics cards, we're going to look at something a bit more, say like a 5070 Ti for anyone that is looking for a 5070. I'll show you exactly how it looks here. Now, a 5070 Ti, if you were to get it, they have about 5 in stock, and currently they're holding about that $1,000 range. And as you guys know, the original pricing for a 5070 Ti should be a bit closer to the high $700s to $800 range. So general thoughts on mixing RAM, even if the module, that's a great question, DK, because there's actually somebody in here that just went through it. Ask Deravax, he'll talk to you all about it. He actually went through it, and he's actually doing pretty well with it. So take a look at your 5060. Okay, so if anyone feel free to join in on Discord, you can feel free to share pictures, or if there's anything you would like to share into the stream, let me know and we can take a look onto the server and you can feel free to join. So in order for anyone to join Discord, I'm just going to show you guys real quick. I'm switching over to Discord, guys, so you guys can see. So if you do join Discord, so the first thing you would have to do is just go up here to the role side. You're going to see a screen like this, and you'll see this server side. Just make sure to go to the rules, and then you're going to go down here and make sure to hit the green check mark right there. You're going to hit that green check mark where it's highlighted, and once you hit that green check mark, it will enable all these servers. This is how it should look like once you enable the servers. So once you're there, you can feel free to show into battle stations. You can feel free to show off your PCs, just like how Ernesto showed off his son's PC, which is a awesome build, by the way, that he actually did. Of course, I saw Devrex just joined our Discord server, so definitely feel free to show what you have as well, as I'm sure everybody would love to see the updates, especially for those who are looking to build or upgrade their PC. So switching back over to Micro Center, guys. So the Gigabyte NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 Ti WindForce short form factor is at $979. That's probably the best deal you're going to get on a 5070 Ti. So yes, I agree. I mentioned this too. It can cause freezing issues. So if you do it, you could customize it. You have to customize timings. It's easier to just have everything into one type of latency and one type of speed. For example, if you're running at say 6,000 megahertz, you want the other kit at 6,000 megahertz and that CL30, for example. So Ground Game says, yo, Chris, Micro Center has a Zotac 5060 Ti for 425 for a hot minute. Then they went to 5. Wow, what a jump that is. That's an ugly jump. And that's the problem. It's just like it's so volatile that it can literally change overnight. Just like when we took a look at the Corsair RAM. Actually, the MSI Shadow is a great choice too. I'm curious if it will pop up as it's $979 originally that you could get this card. Thank you, DK, for subscribing. Why not the Zephyr RTX 5070 single? Some people don't like it. So is upgrading my Mint PC's SO-DIMM RAM from 16 gigabytes to 40. That's a lot for Mint too. For $190, jumping a lot through a lot of hoop questions. But what's your thoughts on that? It's definitely not a bad choice. Actually, I actually have it too myself. I have 48 gigabytes of it. It's great to have if you are interested in it. And it's an improvement. It's quite a slight improvement if you try it out. So if you can get it for a decent price, go for it. So let me see. Digital Storm. Okay, awesome. I got the link now. So we're going to take a look at it. It's so weird. You know what? I have to check out my I just realized something here. Well, I have to go here, exit out of here, and then go back in. And I'm going to check. And that link's for your friend, right, Igor? Just to make sure. Or did you want me to check it out too? What is left from the 48 gigabyte kits at Micro Center? Yeah, that's a good question. We will find out in just a bit. I just got to reopen this, guys, because I'm trying to get this chat window up. Because I run two different chats. I run StreamerBot and I got and I also got the overlay for OBS as well. So let me see. Okay, now I think I'm good. Now it should load up okay. Perfect. And put some PCs. Oh, okay. We'll definitely share it. Okay, so we're gonna look at the 48 gigabyte kits real quick. Please check the yes. Oh, sure thing. So we're gonna take a look at this real quick. I'm going to copy this out. And we're going to check this out before we go ahead and look for the 48 gigabytes, since he put it up here first. There we go. And this is it, right? These PCs, the Corsair, the Velox, and the Aventum. Oh, wow. It's quite, I gotta say, it's definitely interesting. They definitely have quite a bit of offerings here. You know, somebody actually brought this up to me before about Digital Storm. I think one other user actually ended up getting him. I do love the design of it. Maximum performance, maximum engineering, and they have the custom water loop, and it looks like a 5090 with it. So we're gonna take a look at the, we'll click shop now. Now you can go Intel Core. So they have different configurations here for 24, of course, up to 24 cores, 128 gigabytes, one dedicated GPU, or you can go AMD Ryzen, which is up to pretty much the same concept, except you get a bit of different options here. Yeah, but yeah, it's still expensive, right? Still really expensive. Opinion on PC VR gaming? It's a good choice to actually go. If anyone tries VR gaming, it's actually decent. I got to try out the Pimax, and I was quite impressed. Even MetaQuest is like decent for what it is, especially for the pricing. If you go Pimax, you're gonna have to spend a bit more money because you're paying for 4K optics. It's literally a 4K optics in each eye, so you're running like almost like 8K resolution when you're gaming on it. But I would highly recommend having a decent GPU if you do plan on trying it. It's funny, I was talking to the Pimax guy over at CES, and I had to ask him, I was like, did anybody actually throw up like using this, using the Pimax? He said, yeah, that somebody actually just ran to the bathroom like about 10 minutes ago using it, which I thought was pretty funny. So I haven't got to do a ton, but the one I know for sure that's been great is a Half-Life Alyx is a must, and so is I think it's Alien Recursion, where you can actually feel like you're in the game Alien, which is pretty dope. It's almost like it gives you like that horror game type of feel. But what do you think of the pre-built PCs like the ASUS G700? They're not bad choices. Of course, the biggest thing that you would want to look for in a pre-built PC is you want to make sure that they do update their BIOS. Now, like when it comes to something like Digital Storm's choices, it's going to be like a custom motherboard anyway, so you know for sure that they will. If you haven't heard, Corsair had their issues with the pre-built PCs, where they, again, great PCs, but the problem is that they just didn't update the BIOS on time on some of those PCs to where the Intel 13th and 14th generations weren't working properly.
Subscribe to the channel.
And they actually ended up having issues with the microcode. So, yeah, but it's no problem. Let's actually go check out these 48 gigabyte kits, see what they have. And I am a bit curious myself here. The good thing about the PC universe is learning, absolutely. And it's a curiosity factor. Anybody that ends up, say, first getting a pre-built PC, they start to ask, like, you know, like, I don't want to build a PC. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to take the risk. And then you'll end up buying a pre-built PC. And then once you do it, you're like, you know what? This GPU is not good enough for me. I want to get something that's more beefier. I would say I want to get a RTX 5080. You put it in there, and you're like, well, since it's a 5080, now I got to upgrade, you know what, the power supply. So then you upgrade the power supply, and then at that point, you're like, all right, let me just go ahead and build a PC. And then by then you realize that I should have built a PC in the first place. And I think that's, I'm sure some people went through that experience. So I see in Germany that the new flagship motherboard, ASUS Galaxy Ice, I don't know what the name is, an expensive curiosity. Cool. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Exactly. Happens ever. I'm telling you, it happens ever. I mean, when I was younger and I first, it wasn't that I first bought a pre-built PC, but it was the family PC that I was really intrigued with, and I wanted to see how powerful it can get. So I tricked my dad into buying a GPU because I told him I needed it for school. And he actually ended up buying one of the top GPUs. I was like, yeah, this is perfect. Now I can do my schoolwork. But in reality, I just wanted it to the game on it. And after you purchased it, the guy at the counter at the time, it was Comp USA. He said, "Man, this is a really good GPU." He's like, "This is like top of the line." And I was like, "Yeah, just like hurry up and buy it because let my dad buy it real quick before he realizes what it is." I lucky you didn't get the GTX 2. I know, right? Uh, but as you know, it was kind of pretty funny. Like once I had it in there, like how massive it was, man, it was just life changing after that. It was nothing like changing out your first GPU. And let's take a look. We'll look at 48 gigabytes, and we're gonna look at the 96 gigabyte kits. Which GPU was it? It was, I gotta look it up. I think it's the was it GTX? Let me look it up real quick. A GTX 5, it's the one with the mermaid on it. For some reason, I always forget it. I think it's the 6800 or 680. Let me see. I'll look it up actually right now, and I'll share it with you guys. Let's see. The GTX 6, I think it's the 680 or 6800. Mermaid. Let me see. I think it was. I'm about to show you. It was the 6800. Okay, it was this exact one right here. I'll show you guys right now. So it was this one that I got my my father to purchase. It was the 6800 when my very first GPU was this. 6800. Definitely went through getting a few parts and then a whole new system. Yeah, yeah. Who could forget about that, right? That was like the GPU everyone wanted to get, top of the line. And you know, the first, ironically, I don't know if you guys played this or not. Let me know if you guys did, especially for this generation. Have you guys ever played Gunbound? Because that was like the first game I ended up going to anyway, even though it was a free game. Because I'm a kid. I wanted to ensure that all my games were great. But the first game I ended up opening up was Gunbound. I don't know if it's still active today. Let me see. I'm about to look it up if you guys played this or not. It was a free game made in Korea. I'm curious if it's still out. But it was this game here. And that was a big game that everybody was playing at the time. It was something like this. It was amazing. Oh, really? You have it in your collection. Comes with the complimentary pinup art. First PC I got was a 386, but transferred to the... Oh, really? Oh, that's pretty dope, though. You got to go through that whole area. And... here it is right here. This is what they have on the 48 gigabyte side for anyone that is looking to purchase some RAM. Now, of course, it's going to be very selective. It's pretty crazy how the pricing is. Now, this is the exact one, not the exact one that I have, but similar, except for the latency and the speed. But it looks similar to this. But the Z5 RGB 48 gigabytes, they have it for 500. It's sold out though. Let's see what's in stock, because it's going to vary by store, of course. Now the Corsair Vengeance, here you go, 8400. Nobody needs that speed unless you're on an Intel system. Yeah, not really a lot of choices. It seems that's probably one of the first type of RAM sticks that people went after, because it's all high speed RAM practically. Ancient people here. Holy. Yeah, Commodore 64. First GPU is a Voodoo 2. I used to play Gunbound in my neighbor's house when I was a kid. Oh, really? It was amazing, right? Wasn't it fun? I remember I used to type into the chat. I used to tell people in the chat on Gunbound, just to make sure that I would win in a game. I would tell them, like, I would type in, I would say, if you hit Alt F4, it will make the game work faster. And then you had some people say, really? And then all of a sudden they would disappear off the map because you know they've exited the game. So almost $1,000. I know, it doesn't make sense. Again, it's because of the speed. It's the speed. And again, nobody needs this extreme speed unless you're on an Intel platform because it requires it a bit more. So I got into PC gaming a little late. My first GPU was a Radeon. Hey, nothing wrong with that. That was like the time, like once I got back into PC gaming too. I remember, like once the Radeon HG 6670. My first GPU was an RX 570. That's an awesome GPU actually. I still have great memories about that. Kilobyte says first rebuilt I bought was a 4060 i5 one stick of 16 gigabytes. Son said he could build one, so I bought the parts he built with all white. That's pretty awesome. It's a great memory to definitely go with. Absolutely one of the top memories. There's nothing like it. It's just like going through that whole cycle phase, like that you grew up building a PC and now you can kind of pass on the torch. That's pretty awesome to do. So I think my first GPU was a ATI Radeon, something like that. Might be a 4000 series. Crazy. And speaking of which, we're going to go into Discord and check out, we're going to go ahead and check out the build by Deravax. He sent a couple PCs over here. So we're definitely going to take a look. Probably put it over here at, let me see. I will look for you. Oh, here it is. Deravax put it. Oh, that's pretty dope. I'm going to share it right now. Right next to a mini PC that he has. Oh, kind of reminds you of the Fractal Design Terra cases, because they're pretty awesome cases to have. I love the GPU, by the way. That's awesome. And with the Noctua, that's a throwback, but it's, you know, I got a very interesting concept coming up too when it comes to a PC build. Nice. Love the look of it. 1600i. Man, that's pretty dope. Love the look of it. And I gotta say, and especially that he's in Brazil, it's a very tough thing to do to pull off something like this. It's definitely a sleeper steam machine. Like nobody would expect it. That took some time and dedication. I love it. Very unique for sure. Nobody would expect it. First PC game I played as a kid was Hardball on Commodore 64. Isn't that funny? And then you ended up getting a 3090 Ti. Memory cost a bomb in the 80s, more than now per megabyte. Yeah, just to think, 128 megabytes was amazing to have. Remember that, guys? Like back then, if you had 128 megabytes, you're like you would just be amazed because of just how large it was. Now we're talking gigabytes. So mine was the NVIDIA FX 5200. Oh, wow. Usually when I perform upgrades, my old parts end up being hand-me-downs to my father or little brother. My father had quite a shock going from a Radeon R7. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's like a big step up. That's a weird name. Yeah, I'm telling you, like the names, like they just come out with it. And pretty soon we're almost at that era to where the names are going to end up changing again. I could see them changing up the name for the RTX 6000 series to over to like maybe like they'll start in the hundreds again, like the like NVIDIA AI 100 or something, or AI Max 100. I can see them doing something like that, or they'll call it AI Top 100. And that'll be like the new generation of GPUs, like when it comes to NVIDIA. And I could see AMD pretty much focused on doing the same thing. It was a dual GPU, this GTX 295. Yeah, and and you know the crazy thing is like how popular it was, especially for everybody that's run SLI configurations or ran on a Crossfire system. So would a 1200 iShift Gold Corsair version or Platinum without shift on it, is there a real difference? Not really. Not really a large difference. The only thing that's different is going to be the just the tech behind it, and that's it. It's nothing crazy different between the two. But if you choose to either way, you're going to be happy with the PSU, because Corsair, they have excellent PSUs when it comes to their power supplies, and they're they also warranty them for at least 10 years. So AMD should have stuck to 8800 XT. Yeah, it's so weird how they went to 9070, right? It kind of threw it off. So for Crisis was a life-saving card, absolutely. I hope NVIDIA. Yes. And then we get another confusing aspect. Can you imagine we go over to the graphics card here, and then we go ahead and say, and we see two, we'll see like AI 100 from both sides. Like we'll see NVIDIA AI 100, for example, and we see AMD AI 100, and then everyone's gonna say, oh, what kind of card do you have? Then you're gonna have to say what brand you have, because you're gonna have to say NVIDIA AI 100 or AMD AI 100. It would be quite ridiculous. But and then you know what you're gonna see a lot of? You're definitely going to end up seeing like a lot of the fraud cases where you're going to see people ending up ordering, say, like a AMD version, right? And they said, no, I never ordered. I ended up or like NVIDIA's version, and then they say, oh, I ended up with AI's for the AMD AI 100 instead of the NVIDIA AI 100. You'll definitely see a lot of that. The second they get insecure, marketing department changes series. It's rough. It really, yes. SLI, bring it back, right? I can see parents complaining about which card to give their sons. Yes, I am live, Beantown. I am live. Good to see you, actually. I joined your Discord server. Awesome. Yeah, if you joined the Discord server, guys, just remember, don't forget to go ahead and click the green check mark in the rules, so that way it will enable all these servers. So make sure to check it. That way you're pretty much good to go. There we go. And if you post anything, let me know. I will definitely share it up here live. So when you take a look at the pricing, guys, here, so for the cheapest pricing currently, and you want Resident Evil Requiem here, and you want to go RTX 50 series, you go $550 for this card. Not a horrific deal, but again, those who are trying to kind of like future-proof their GPU might not want to go through the whole 12 gigabyte phase. More than likely you want to go for 16 gigabytes, and if you are trying to be a bit more cost effective, it's definitely better to go with like a RX 9070 XT. So or man, I'm scared that this AI wheel will keep running as it is right now. Like OpenAI said that they're going to charge $60 for 1,000 ad views or something. Like, you know why? They're very desperate right now to make up that revenue. Like if I switch over here, we go to, this is Western Digital's right now. This is their pretty much their earnings call that they had recently. And this is going to be based on their innovation day that they had. And if you take a look at their presentation, it's practically telling you everything that they plan on doing is all focused on the whole AI side of things. And because of that, it's going to, unfortunately, make everything go up in pricing. Everything is going to have focus onto the AI side, especially once we go down here. You're definitely going to see it, which is further down. I know it's a lot of slides. Bear with me, guys. But right here, hyperscale economies without the hyperscale. That's all AI talk. Intelligent platform to reduce complexity and speed up adoption with a single open API with intelligent software. Again, AI. Again, where they are planning to go, and you see a lot of focus on their whole AI side of things. So those prices are more. Oh, that's funny. I could see that. Any excitement on NVIDIA's CPU? Nothing. They're kind of quiet about it, but we do know that Intel and NVIDIA are working together on releasing theirs, and we're more than likely going to see it around the summer if everything goes as planned, because that's when it was originally planned between May and June. So Deravac says the 3500 is an awesome price for a 5090. Absolutely. What do you think will happen after this bubble pops? What I think will happen is you're going to see if AI does end up popping, you're going to see quite a bit of stagnation at first. You're just going to see kind of like a halt, and they're not going to be too sure on what to do with the pricing. So you're going to see the pricing exactly how it is now stay like this for a little bit. And then after they start realizing they have an oversupply of, like, say, wafers, and they have to be able to create something out of these wafers because they're not being used, at first they're obviously going to try to have like wholesale, try to give it up more into the enterprise side, see if people will purchase it through the enterprise side first, and they'll get rid of a lot of it through that way. Now for the enterprise size, if they're already pretty much filled up, they're going to have an oversupply of then RAM, and then it could be NVMe's that can be oversupplied, and it could be VRAM that can be oversupplied, and because of that, then you'll start to see the prices start to trickle down. Then it won't crash, it won't go from 3,500 down to 2,800 overnight. You're going to see it kind of trickle down to the point where if they have an oversupply, and once they do, then you'll start to see these pricing really fall down then. And then if AI end up like completely not doing well at all, and they just focused it more into the enterprise side, which I think will be more the focus where AI will head to instead of more of the consumer side, then it's going to be pretty much set in stone of how advanced AI is going to get. So let's hope that does happen, of course, for everyone out there. Yes, it will have like this big trickle effect. It won't be as quick. It won't be like a knife down. You know, it won't just suddenly go from, say, the prices again like $3,500 just drop down to 28, 27, but you will see it trickle down each month. And then eventually it'll get to the point where they're like, okay, we just got to get rid of it. We have over 25 in stock. We have about like 75 in stock of each Micro Center store. And then you would see the pricing start to drop. So I remember a time when 512 megabytes of VRAM was colossal of video memory. Absolutely. Those were some times that once you saw that 512 megabytes, you really realized like we are getting quite advanced. Even 256 was amazing back then. 256 was quite something. Even when it came to RAM, like if you had 4 gigabytes of RAM, that was quite the setup. That was overkill at times. Even 2 gigabytes was overkill. People were happy with 512 megabytes of RAM. So, but yeah, that's the evolution of how everything is now. But unfortunately, the way things are, as of now, the pricing is currently still high. So if you are looking for a 5090, a decent price that if you were to purchase it, would be around $3,500. And then if you were to go ahead and purchase like a 5080, around average, it's going to be like a little bit over $1,500. So I had 128 megabytes of RAM in my and I think a lot of people did. I think that was like the first thing people went for. I think that everyone started off with actually like 64 megabytes of RAM, and then they worked their way up. So I had 128. Let me see. Tech Tactical says, yeah, that makes sense because it's not like they could shift production back to consumer products. Yeah, and that would be the problematic side. But of course, no matter what, things would then fall into our favor eventually. And then is going to be my favorite question to ask next. I'm definitely going to throw this on the poll, guys, because for you guys that are interested in obviously getting SSDs or RAM or anything like that, I do have a great question for you guys, and that is going to be, let me see, get my poll options up here. And would you purchase PC components from Crucial? Because if you guys don't know, Crucial practically is out of the consumer side as of this year, as of January of 2026. But of course, if this did happen, say if the AI bubble did pop, would you go back to Crucial to purchase any PC components from a RAM or SSDs? Especially that they said that what they've done now is
ASUS Adventure subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing. They'll they will crawl back in a few years. Feel free to vote. You can put 1 or 2. So if they crawled back on their knees, like, come on, can you buy from us again? We really did try to help out the PC gaming community out there. We did try to help out the consumer side. We just, tried to fill these HBM orders that they demanded for. Okay, so far we got no. We're not interested in working with Crucial. They are dead to me. I think a lot of people are feeling a bit rough on Crucial's side right now. Seeing KLEVV pop up more recently has been pretty cool. Absolutely. I hope that they do well. First game ever played on PC, I would say Doom. Doom was probably the first game. I'm pretty sure that was the first game I played. It was that or Pac-Man on PC. And that was back when I went to my aunt's PC. She was the first one to have like a computer back then. And she introduced me to it. And I remember when she started it up, it was like Windows 3.1. And she had Pac-Man on it. So I was playing Pac-Man on that PC. Waiting room for RTX 6090. But after then, like when I ended up getting the family PC, which was a Sony Vaio. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. Let me show that to you guys. This is a throwback. It was expensive actually back in the day. It was 95, I think. 90. Yeah, this was it. The PZV. This is the one that we had right here. The Sony Vaio. And this is exactly how it looked like. And this was the first PC that I got to play Doom on. You were yeah. Beantown remembers. So waiting for a Dangerous Dave and Mike. I remember that Apple IC, absolutely. Oh, we do got some interest. We got some interest that people would purchase from Crucial. Interesting. And feel free. Why would you purchase from Crucial? Just out of curiosity, would it be the pricing, the fair pricing that they give? And wow, so far we got some people saying that they would go for Crucial again. That's interesting, I gotta say. Especially even they kind of put us on the back burner there. So I have 32 gigabytes of 216 DDR5 for sale. Any recommended ones site on, you can sell it right on Discord. Just go on Discord, tell them that you have RAM for sale. There's quite a few members on there that might be looking for it. So if you let them know, like, hey, I'm selling it, just make sure that the exchange is fair and you guys can do your thing there. So pricing, I think most PC builders would want the parts regardless if they offer good value. Yes. Oh man, it is interesting though. We have quite the mix. We got a 50-50, so 50-50 is not good for a large company to come back onto the consumer side of things. RTX 5050 or the RX 7600 for a ITX build? I go 7600. I think you'd honestly be a bit happier with the 7600. No problem. No problem, Tony. So, oh man, I just started playing the Phantom 2 GT 560 Ti. Now, just to give you an idea of the specifications here, this is what it was running on, the T700. You ready for this?
Uda Elia subscribe to the channel.
Awesome. Thank you for subscribing. So it actually had, it was advanced at its time, 1280 by, that doesn't sound right, the resolution, because I remember the screen being 800 by 600. I always remember that resolution because a lot of the games, that's where it would be set at. And then it would have a 3.5 floppy inch, 3.5 inch drive for the floppy disk. And of course, it had a CD drive, which was CDR. And then it also had, where's the processor? Pentium 2. And it had 32 megabytes. And that's right, 32 megabytes. And it had an ATI 3D Rage 2. I would love for the price to be posted on this. Let's look up. I wonder what the MSRP was around then. 4 meg. Yeah, that was the thing. That was the thing, 4 megabytes. And the thing back then, that was insane. Like 4.3 gigabytes would be like unheard of, like to have as a drive. Even the hard drive, where is it? They don't have really the hard drive listed either. But yeah, that's again a throwback. That would be an interesting PC to go back to, especially today. But it was amazing how flexible it was. Like how it was like to work on that PC. Can you play yeah, I don't see why. Probably. Yes, absolutely. So, what should I do for my PC? I have a 5070 i5 13400 and 16 gigabytes of DDR4. What should I upgrade to? Okay, so I think you just asked this yesterday. I think I remember you were here when we were discussing AM5. I would still suggest that suggestion. You can go AM5. You could actually get a decent deal on it. I miss CTR for screens apart from the weight and size. Yeah, the look on it is quite amazing, I gotta say. For some reason, the details in it are quite impressive. But I remembered how the way this monitor was. It would actually have that speaker built into the monitor, which was like an amazing feature back then. And let's go ahead and check out the PC parts here. The most fair PC components for everyone that is looking to build a fresh PC, especially if you have a Micro Center near you. Look at their bundles. Their bundles would definitely be the way to go. I mean, they have this exclusive 7500 X3D, and you get 3 parts. You get the processor, you get a motherboard, and you get some RAM. Sure, you might not get 32 gigabytes of RAM, but it's only $350. Now, I did post up a deal. I don't know if all you guys got to see it or not, which was the Newegg deal. If you guys are interested, it's also on my page on YouTube. Let me show you guys. It was actually a RAM kit with a 9850X 3D. I think it was the Manta DDR5. Let's see if it comes up. Here we go. Here are some kits that Newegg has, which are pretty fair. So far, we got the 50-50 mix of Crucial right here. So I'll shut that poll. It seems like we got quite the mix. Micro Center bundles are fairly well priced. I agree, 100%. They are very well priced. If you take a look over here, they do have an ASUS Tough combo. The one I recommended was actually, let's go ahead and click this first. I'll show you which one I actually recommended here. So we're going to click here. Their RAM can be hit or miss with the motherboard. When I was using the Expo, that's the combo Micro Center. Absolutely. It's almost like you do take a little bit of a risk when you do go ahead and make a purchase like that. Oh, this is the new one, the ASUS X870E Plus. Let me just see if it is. I'm going to examine this motherboard. I think it is. This is their new variant. And the way you can tell, let me see. Let me zoom in here. I'm pretty sure this is it. X870E Plus. It looks like the new version. If that's the case, I gotta reach out to ASUS now and figure out what's going on. But of course, I'm sure you guys heard about the recent issue that they ran into. It's something that they are still obviously trying to figure out. I tried to get answers. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for subscribing. I do certainly appreciate it. MSI was streaming a similar CPU. They were RAM overclocking on. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yeah, you know, the thing is, the issue is the 9800 X3Ds are still burning on 2 different variants. And again, it was overclocking the same way. And hopefully it gets resolved. It's an issue that I know both AMD and ASUS have been figuring out a fix, especially on the GESA BIOS that they have. The new 1.3 version that they have should technically fix it. But again, it could be a very minimal number. It could just be like one of those freak accidents out of many, many motherboards that are out there. But we'll know definitely in a bit. Aren't AMD X? Yes. And that's the issue that I'm certainly discussing. That's all because of sensitivity here. What's up, Salad Source?
Dear Abax super chatted $2.09. Keep the X870E Hero or upgrade to X870E Extreme?
Now, if you're to pick between the two, now if you're more of an overclock freak, and nothing wrong with being an overclock freak, I would say go ahead and go extreme, especially if you're willing to adjust. If you're going to go through like custom water loops, go extreme. If you're not, you're going more for like more airflow. You still can overclock on a Hero. It's still a great board to do it on, but you don't have to spend the extra cash to do what you would expect out of an extreme. So I would say it depends how badly you plan on overclocking. If you're not planning to do crazy overclocks, then just go X870E Hero. Now, if you are planning to do extreme overclocking with custom water loops and you're trying to push records, then an X870E Extreme would definitely benefit you. So not much still planning. So what do you have planned out on your build so far? I gotta ask you, what is your plans on your build? Now, if anyone's interested in any of these components that I'm showing, I do have them posted onto my post on YouTube. I should throw it into my description box for everybody out there to take a look at these kits. The one that I specifically suggested, let me see if I can find it. Hopefully they still have it. Let me see. It's actually a really good one. This one. Oh, wow. I actually went up in price. It's, you know what it is? It's the price of, they threw 96 gigabytes. Now, the kit that I did throw up there is not 96, it's 32, and it's much cheaper. It's like closer to about $800 to $900. So, are you streaming? I'm doing 2 streams. So, I got one in portrait, and I also got one in landscape. So, I have 2 different ones. So, if you're interested in seeing the larger stream, go ahead, feel free to join in because it is available. It is available to go into large screen. Now, stuck up in between Aorus X870E. I just realized that too, guys. Yeah, why is it doing that? It doesn't show the full browser, and I think I have an idea why. It's probably because I haven't expanded it. I just realized that, guys. I can make it much bigger. There we go. Isn't that better? Now, that's much better. I do apologize for anyone that was trying to get a better view of this, at least. So, I still yet to build my 9800 X3D MSI Carbon X870E. Haven't heard anything about them dying on their board, so their company has started with their motherboards. ASUS hasn't been doing good in recent years. I can understand how you feel. There's quite a bit of grief for some people out there that's been using anyone's products. Of course, I can say, actually, everything that I use is actually, so far that I'm using right now, I'm on an ASUS motherboard that is a Threadripper build. And I do also have the ASUS X870E Hero, but luckily I haven't ran into any issues. The last time I did honestly run into a big issue with the ASUS was back on the Z690. I don't know if you guys remember this, and this actually happened with BuildZoid, in fact, too. I mentioned this back then too, about the whole capacitor being flipped the opposite direction, so it was giving the wrong polarity. So I actually had to send that motherboard back to ASUS, and at first they looked at it and said that it wasn't there wasn't really a problem, that the pins were bent. And I know the pins weren't bent, and eventually they actually admitted fault and said that it was because the capacitor was set backwards. Instead of it being onto the positive side, it was on the negative end and shorted the board, and hence why my PC didn't start up. And I went through all different diagnosis of from the power supply to the GPU to everything you could think of. And I was like, it has to be the motherboard. It's bad. So I sent it back, and that's what I heard from them. But that was the last time I ran into an issue with ASUS's Z690. I'm just glad that they admitted fault, because at first they did try to attempt to get me to pay for it, but obviously I didn't. That was a serious issue. Was that, and then of course for the AMD side, especially on the 7000 series, was the whole beta BIOS. If you guys remember that, that they came out with the new BIOS, but they didn't quite want to put it as a final BIOS, because if they put it as a final BIOS, then they're liable for if anything does happen. But then of course they got a lot of flack for that, and they ended up switching off of beta and then went to a regular BIOS. But yes, but that is the truth of the matter of things when it comes to problems. But other than that, those were the last issues I ran into. Of course, if I do run into any other issues, I will certainly let you guys know. But and you know what's crazy, guys, is the fact that I wanted to go to ASRock for their board, right? And Devrock said,
super chatted 96 cents.
Is
my 9800 by 3D in danger if I always keep it in 125 watts power limit and curve optimizer in -20?
No, not necessarily. That's not always dangerous, especially if it's stable. What you have to do is keep an eye on it on hardware info. That's definitely the best tool that you have when it comes to PCs. -20 is very fair. In fact, I run my curve optimizer at -20 myself. But 125 watt is not bad. Definitely stable for sure. I would get more nervous if it was higher, much more higher. And of course, if the power optimizer was much more lower into like -45 or -50. But it sounds like you have a very stable and normal type of setting. So they tried to yeah, yes they did. I can tell you the amount. It was $140. A 9850X3D on ASUS Prime X870p. Yeah, it's a decent mix. Since it's the X870, yes, it's I would say it'd be worth it. If it's a B850, of course you can do it. And it all depends on how many PCI Express lanes that you are planning to take up on your motherboard. So if I do get a 9950X3D run it all stock, what are the chances of if you're running it stock, more than likely you'll be okay. It's just the key is like it doesn't matter what motherboard you have, because it can happen to any motherboard, not just ASRock or ASUS. Now, if you do end up getting a motherboard and you do plan on having a 9850X3D, just make sure to update to the latest BIOS. I can't stress that enough. Even if you don't have the CPU yet, did you know you can flash the BIOS without the CPU? So you can even flash it just in case if you don't even want to run it with the CPU in there, just in case, and just run a BIOS flashback specifically. You don't turn on the PC, but you're going to run a BIOS flashback on your motherboard, and then it will be ready to go. For example, on ASUS, you'll see a little light in the back for the BIOS flashback. You hold the button, and it'll start blinking, and it'll start blinking faster and faster, and then it'll slow down, and once it completely stops, it means the PC is pretty much ready to go. But obviously, you want to shut it down before you install the CPU then. So, I know, I agree, Game. 33% of minimum wage salary to get from a 9800X3D to a 9850X3D here in Brazil. Crazy. Yo, we need to get a video of when and when not to get a Micro Center. Oh, yeah. Good idea. Next time we go to Micro Center, I'll definitely take a look at that. And that's the one thing I haven't done. I gotta get to know more of the people over at Micro Center for sure. It's the price difference. It's weird when I call them ASUS or ASUS. Yeah, I get it. It's people call all different names, but I can tell you for certain it's ASUS. It is ASUS. Right, thanks. That's all. Yes, that's all you need. Better wait for Zen 6 and an X970 motherboard. Yes, if you definitely can wait for it, but I don't think we'll see the X970E anytime soon, or X970. More than likely we'll definitely see it within the next year. So when flashing, yeah, I think everybody gets pretty nervous flashing the BIOS. You're just scared that if it's gonna go right. The name comes from Pegasus. Oh, really? That's pretty wild. So if anybody is looking for a build, definitely take a look at the kits before anything. Don't buy individually. Like for example, here's a decent one. You can get a Gigabyte Ice motherboard, great motherboard to go with, and it does have V colors, DDR5, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it does come with AMD's Ryzen 9850X3D. So it's something that anybody can certainly take advantage of. I love how they say it was introduced at CES 2026 when it wasn't. Oh, that was, well, kind of was. It kind of was. We got to see it, right? Anonymous. I'm planning a 9800X3D 5080 build next month, and I don't want to splurge on a motherboard. That is a smart thing to not splurge on. Because all you need is a decent motherboard for you to power on your 9800X3D with your 5080. So you want to enable the full capabilities of it, and to do that, at the minimum, you want to run a B850E at the minimum. So to be honest, X870E to X870E was underwhelming. I think for most people it was, because I pretty much did the same thing. I went from X670E to X870E, and it wasn't, you know, it actually made me miss my X670E, believe it or not. So for the X970E, it's not going to be significant. Again, more the upgrades, we're going to see it more when it comes to the true next generation of platforms when we go into AM6. So ASUS, MSY, Gigaboom, PSU, they all got, yeah, I know. They all do. They certainly do. ASUS. What do you think of the X870i ITX variant of the Gigabyte Pro Ice? I think it's actually a decent motherboard. It's certainly a decent motherboard to take a look at. Are you considering it? I mean, Ice does have a very nice look to it. What about console melting? CPU? Oh, the CPU melting scenario. Yes, I did my best, guys. Like I've emailed multiple times to try to get answers, and nothing. But I have come to my conclusions. I've done a ton of research, and from what I found is that it's kind of it's both on AMD and their BIOS really when it comes to it, because it's the whole, if it goes over a certain limit, if it goes over 1.2 volts, not really even 1.2, 1.25 is like the usual, 1.3 at the max is what you typically see as well. But if you go over it, once it gets over to 1.35 or 1.4, then you start to head into like a very risky territory for something like a AMD X3D, because then it starts to have a decent chance of burning up then. So, and a lot of the cases, you'll see it go as high as like 1.8. So, I really like the Elite X3D, but I've seen some wide PCI Express spacing and 8 bifurcation and Master X3D. Excuse me, let me get some water. Oh yeah, your game's hilarious. Had to hydrate there, guys. So, if anyone is interested, they do have a decent case for $59.99. But I'll tell you this though, before anybody does go for that case, check on Amazon first, because at least when you do order the case on Amazon, it comes in intact and it's not dented. Because there's been 2 cases where I've ordered PC cases from Newegg and they came in dented and damaged, and I sent it back twice, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. So I've always had bad luck when they came to PC cases on Newegg, but on Amazon they've been decent, I gotta say. MSI actually has been gaining in the PSU department low-key. I agree, especially when it comes to their new PSU. You guys seen it, right? It's quite amazing. Their new MPG 1600 watt PSU is amazing. It can actually detect if the GPU gets too hot. It will actually have a shutdown mode. It'll let you know, like, if you do not adjust your voltages onto your GPU, that it will automatically shut down within about like 60 seconds. It's really dope. It even beeps. It's like almost like those old PCs, like when they used to have the CMOS beep. Remember that? Or like back when it had the BIOS beep, or where it was like doing the whole RAM check. It's kind of like that. It'll make that kind of sound. It'll beep just like that, and then it'll shut off. So I'm pairing this Pro Ice with the 8700G in a tiny PC, even smaller than the one in my picture for integrated. Oh, really? That'd be amazing. You know, there's actually a case I'm really interested in. My desktop froze. Oh, really? Oh no. Welcome back, Beantown. Good to see you back here. Random question: where do you think the next gen consoles will be at in comparison to PC performance? It's really hard to say. You know, there's a decent question about this. So while we talk about the next gen console, you guys could ponder on this ASUS ROG Rapture. That's about $900 for a router. There you go. So so and you guys can feel free to say what you think. But anyway, going back to it. Speaking of the next generation consoles, it's not going to be that much advanced actually over the current gen, which is the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, because the current generation, their console is going to be based on pretty much like an SoC, similar to like how the M1 is. I got to hear what Ground Games comment on this one. I'll consider it one less RFA for everyone involved. So anyway, it's going to be pretty much like a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X, but when it comes to the hardware side, it's going to be an SoC, so it's going to have a GPU integrated CPU, and it's going to have the RAM, and probably the SSD separate. I don't think they're going to go to that direction. They might have some integrated space, and probably an expansion kit, like pretty much like what they do with PlayStation 5 already and with the Xbox. But it's not going to be much of an upgrade when it comes to graphics, because they're actually consolidating down to just one SoC to make it more simpler. So the good thing is it's going to be much more smaller, possibly even, but the problem is it's just not going to be that much more advanced in graphics. So even though you're upgrading to a next generation, it might not be all that different, but that's what the current rumor is, that's where they're headed direction wise. So PS6 will, yeah, there's a lot of rumors about it. Now, if they do end up going direct, like if they go back to like a direct GPU, then of course it can go much more expensive. But it all depends on their plans if they decide to go SoC or not. Should they need the router ASUS? But remember, guys, the reason why, if you guys are curious why this router is expensive for the pricing, it is because it has the keyword right there. I'm going to zoom in for you guys. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Oh, hang on, guys. Apologize for that. I'm going to zoom in on it so you guys could take a look at this a little bit closer. There you go. This is the reason. I don't know if you guys can see it now, but this is the reason right there. You see what's the model number right there? Take a look at that model number right there. So keep that in mind, guys. That is why it is the price it is. There it is. So as you see, the BE 19000 AI. That is the reason, guys. So it has that triple level security, and it does feature AI mesh. So you also have AI WAN detection, guys. AI WAN detection. That is the reason why the price is so high. So yeah, we were talking about this in the stream or two ago, but really referred to teraflops as the PS5 Pro is like a 4060. Yeah, pretty much. It's going to be headed in that direction. So unfortunately, for when it comes to the whole hardware side, when it comes for both Sony and Microsoft, they are both working with AMD in order to figure this out. And I'm curious how Intel's going to do things, because once Intel and NVIDIA come out with their SoC, pretty much their CPU that they're coming out with, that's going to be very interesting, especially for those who are interested in handhelds or any type of like Steam machine, for example. And speaking of which, I do want to share this with you guys. I think this is pretty dope, actually. Check out Fractional Design. There's this case that some people may love, and that's going to be, I hate how they do it like that. I want to just scroll down and show you guys the ridge. That's what it's called. If you take a look at this ridge here, A half component hacker could correct that. A half competent. Yeah, I know. Oh man. Uh, I hate how ugly that these gaming routers look. A sleek tower steam machine needs looking design is all I need. AI, please give keys. So it's like, can you imagine talking to it and it's like, hey, can you make up a password for me? Yeah, sure. The AI just talks back to you. Yeah, sure. Um, this password will be pretty tight, and it'll just give you some random password it gives to everybody the same exact password, and then you can hack anybody's password. That is pretty much an AI router.
At Dear Abax Super Chatted 96 cents. How do you think current normal PSUs without PCIe 3.1 will handle the future generation of 12 VHPWR GPUs?
Not well. I don't think they will handle it well. The reason being is because of power spiking, and because of the power spiking that you can get from power supplies, the distribution level on it just won't be good. So if anyone does use anything prior to ATX 3.1 or ATX 3, you might risk your GPU with power spiking, and you don't want to do that. Dwarcam, have you seen? Exactly. I'm shocked it's not called the Ridge. The Ridge. I know, right? This isn't a router actually, guys. This is actually pretty dope. This is why I wanted to show you. Because if you take a look at this, right? It just looks like a router. It does look like one, but it's actually a case. It's actually a full-on case for a PC. Let me see. I'm going to try to get better pictures so I can show you the inside of it. Here it is. So when you look inside here, you can actually build a full out, pretty much a mini ATX or ITX PC into this. And you can actually fit up to a 330 millimeter GPU into this case. So I always found this one pretty interesting. So it's pretty wild. The power spike's covered on. Oh, really? So that's pretty interesting. And and if you look here, it also does have like everything you pretty much need for a PC. So I think it's pretty dope actually, like to have. And it has USB-C, has two USB-A ports. An MSI inspired card would fit nicely in there. Solid, absolutely. I think so too. I think that would be a great choice. So if anybody wants like a small form factor type of PC, like an SFF type of build, I think this would be very unique. It's not your typical short form factor cases where it's just like a mini case tower. Instead, it's like, it looks like pretty much like a 360 solid metal brick, and nobody would know. Like you go into somebody's house and you see this, like you would just be absolutely impressed. Like seeing this like sit in someone's like entertainment system. I mean, just take a look at it. It's just a sleek, but the only thing is, this would be debatable for anybody that wants to have like RGBs onto this PC. Then it would be like you can't really see anything, or if you like to look at your PC components. But if you're more of like you just want like a nice stealthy PC build that can compete like even to like a Steam machine, you can fit easily a 5070 Ti in here if you wanted to, especially if it's a short form factor one. So it hooks up by a riser cable, and then you can hook up to the PC as you usually do through a mini ITX or a micro ATX case motherboard.
At Dear Abax Super Chatted 96 cents. Will 1600 watts normal PSUs gonna be safe for some time for future GPUs like 6090 with those spikes?
It should be. I mean, I think it should be. It's just like how Grounded said, he's a Gamer Nexus ran it. So if he's run some tests and it's been decent, I'd be pleasantly surprised. What I would be more concerned about is the type of harness. The type of harness that would be used. I wouldn't use the one that's packed with the GPU. Of course, some of them recommend it, which is the tentacles that they give. I would highly suggest going mod DIY, or even cable mod would be an excellent choice to go with. So Carlito says, it looks like a fat soundbar. It does look like a soundbar. That if that's what people would think it is. So the only thing is, like, if you had family over, just say, and they went to go like, oh, let me turn on the speaker, and they try to mess with this thing, and you're like, oh no, that's my PC, don't touch it. So, but it does look like that. But unless you have it set up like this, then I would hope you know it's a PC. But if you do have it set up like this, then yes, someone's going to mistake it for 22. It's absolutely a brick. You can use it as a plate carrier in a pinch. It would be solid. Just imagine how heavy it is. It's going to be dense for the size it is. Absolutely dense for a PC. You can either have it white or black. So the way they describe it here is a uncluttered small form factor case designed to integrate seamlessly into your living space and your daily rituals. An evolution of slimline formats. So the Ridge was developed in collaboration with gaming and entertainment enthusiasts to subtly improve their homes and enhance the small form factor PC experience. That's one thing that people would want to throw in there. House invaders found dead from and you would see the, can you imagine this? You would see this PC, right? It would be just laying there on on someone's hardwood floor, and it would be like blood on the corner of it just because of how heavy the thing is. That's pretty wild. And then what would even make it more crazy is then they would sue Fractal Design for designing such a PC, right? For coming up with such a tight quarters design, which is pretty much a 40-50 pound brick. We found flash and USB port. Oh man, that would be wild. But I think this is a pretty decent case compared to like the usual stuff that you see. Like they have the Terra. You guys might be familiar with the Terra. And they have the Mood. The Terra is more like this. Let me know what you guys think of this design. This is the Terra. Kind of like that matcha tea type of look, right? has that matcha tea type of look. So you have like that nice fractal button. You get one USB-A port and a USB-C port. But again, it goes, Jumbo is up there too. No clear window. Yeah, it's, I don't know what their deal is. I guess they want it more subtle, these designs. Plenty of airflow though. I couldn't say there's airflow. It's all ventilated on all three sides. That would be my biggest thing too. Like, where's the nice little window? You can look through it. And the Mood. Now this definitely throws you off too, because it looks like this definitely looks like one of those like Bluetooth speakers, like just like one of those really large Bluetooth speakers. Would look like a cabinet. A minimalist approach, absolutely. And this one, so this is like the newer designs. It has almost like this cheese grater look, I call it, like when it has these like massive large holes in it. And then when you look inside of it, the top is like meshified. And then I'm assuming this is like thin enough for air to travel through it. Yeah, pretty much, right? The cheese grater. And then when you take a look at the fan up here, it's got to be like at least probably like a 140 to 200 millimeter fan. And then you have the case here. So you could sit up your GPU. And it looks like it has the riser cable. And I would assume, let's see how it looks all apart here. That is very interesting, I gotta say. This would be good for, very interesting build, I gotta say. Apple, yeah, that's what it reminds you of, right? Perfect. Perfect. Oh man, these look like speaker design, right? It does. It does. It looks like speaker. It almost looks like a Bose speaker, right? Doesn't it? That's exactly what it looks like. It reminds you of one of those old, large Bose speakers that they have. And then you have, let's see, the Node. Here goes one with some glass on the side here. Reminds me of Xbox from Gucci. Oh yeah, there you go. And Jonah's up and walking around. That's a good thing. Here we go. Define 7 Nano. So this is a mini ITX case. Let's see the size of it. So this is, again, like more the traditional side you see when it comes to like the mini ITX or micro ATX cases here. And which isn't a bad choice if you want more of like a mini PC type of look to it. Has more of that like metallic finish to it. And for the IO ports, let's see. IO port side, let's get up there. Actually, we'll go like this and see. So it looks like this. They have decent IO ports, I gotta say. 3 USB-A. Maybe that's I think that's like an RGB button there on the side. It has the power button. And then it has these ones up here, which are going to be auxiliary ports. Yeah. These mini ITX cases are too big for my taste. Do you recommend Be Quiet Power Zone 2 for a PSU? Actually, they're very good. Be Quiet's excellent when it comes to PSUs. The one they actually have quite a few different new designs now. I think they're up to the 14. I would highly recommend it. They are honestly quiet as their wording is. So it's a very positive outlook for them. Like if you are planning power supply usage. Even like their AIOs are pretty decent as well. So if you take a look at them, I would say, yeah, go for it. Just make sure it's the specifications that you need it at. And let's go back, guys, over to Newegg, because I know some of you guys are looking for things like this. I tried to look up the RTX 5090, but no luck, obviously, when it comes to Newegg and finding it. Looks like well into MATX territory, and that's the issue. I think people aren't liking it. Oh yeah, you've been watching Supernatural. That's a throwback. Be Quiet does make some good power supplies, but they don't respond to emails. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's yeah, they're really not good at that, I gotta say. I tried to email them, but they're not very responsive people. But they do have decent power supplies for sure. Their coolers are decent as well. But I can't speak on how their whole customer service is. Luckily, I haven't had anything fail from them, which is a good thing. Hopefully, I don't have to worry about that. So, yes. No, I definitely get it. When it comes to the CPU processors, I called Be Quiet on the phone and left a message, and they, oh really? Oh, that's awesome. Champ had a response. There you go. Usually, again, Be Quiet's a decent brand. Personally, to me, I haven't really had issues with any of their products. So, as Champ said, their customer service is definitely up to par there. Usually, a lot of companies are pretty decent when it comes to customer service. It's just now I'm just curious how it's going to be today, especially because of how short they are with parts now. So in this economy, we might well run everything under bolted.
ROG super chatted 38 cents.
Yeah.
Keep my Corsair AM5 1600i or upgrade for ATX 3.1.
So if you have an AX 1600i, and you're ready, if you are in desperate need, like if it's starting to show like failure, then I would say replace it. But I would say honestly hold it. The AX 1600i is like the top of the line Corsair PSU that they have. Even if you do have the prior model, like before the ATX 3, they're very reliable. I would say definitely keep it. I am taking a break from gaming for a while and kick back and watch some horror. I get it. You want to see some horror? Take a look at some pricing. I called to ask questions, and I never had a problem with one. Awesome. Same situation. Oh, that's good. That's a good thing. EVGA. Oh, really? Yeah, you have the same situation. You also have an AX 1600. EVGA 1600T Super. Oh man. Oh, EVGA, man. I really miss them. I really do. I just hope one day they really have a comeback one of these days. Let's definitely hope that we see a strong return from EVGA for one of these days. So, fam guys, I thank everybody for joining into this wonderful stream. Yes, nothing more scary than reality. Agreed. Thank you guys for joining into this wonderful stream. Make sure to join in onto the Discord. If you aren't part of the Discord community, just go into the rules side. Make sure you hit that green check mark to be part of us. And also, if you're not part of the YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe and like it. If you're not part of Twitch, make sure to follow. And I certainly thank you guys all. There's no stream again this upcoming Saturday, and that's because we do have a friend coming from out of state right now to come visit. So we will spend some time with him. But regular stream will be back to normal next week, and it'll start at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. And I will certainly remind everybody out there. So I thank everybody for once coming in again, and make sure everybody has a great day or evening, depending where you are around the world. And I appreciate for Unreal Champ as always, and of course Beantown. And you gotta thank Daravox for being part of us. Charizard, thank Grounded Game, especially with his jokes here. He's been hilarious. It's K today, and also Josh. Thank you guys for all coming in. Ernesto, all the members of the wonderful fan bam. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope to see you guys again soon.